Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. So, earlier today, I did some mosaics. So, you have to check out part one. So, this is part two. So, popping on here, doing a little late night live, finishing up part two. The glue has set. So, we did part one, showed basically setting up and the supply list. I will pop the supply list up here. Let me see if I can find it. And there it is. The supply list for making a mosaic is basically you need a solid base, whether you're doing a tabletop or in this case we're actually I don't have that on. We're using these little wood trays, which are really great for making small projects you can do right at your house. And you can find those online. So you need a solid base. You need some tiles, and the tiles can be whatever you choose. Basically, these are some tiles here. I have a lot of different ones. I ordered them from different websites. You can pick them up at your home improvement stores, also your art supply stores as well. You need an adhesive, and today I used a tacky glue, but you can also use a product called Welbond. Now, if you are doing a mosaic and it's going outside, such as a tabletop, you'd probably want to use thin set and then let it dry for 24 hours, and then you'll put in grout from there. Hello, hello. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. And basically, you're going to place those tiles in a pattern of whatever you choose, glue them in, and then grout it. Or sometimes people use sand in between or resin. So in this case tonight, I am on part two of this video we filmed earlier. So you'll have to go back and check that out for part one after this video. And so this video is going to consist of basically grouting what we did earlier today. And I might be able to get to the resin part as well. So hopefully I'll get the resin part. But I did forget to get the UV light that's all the way on the other side of the studio, but we can do that. So basically, um, you're you're basically just gluing tiles or little found things, items, whatever you want, onto a solid base and then filling in the blanks or the negative space. Um, Other things you might need is a bowl, sponges to clean up, towels to keep everything tidy as well, water to use in the grout, tile nippers, tweezers, gloves, eye protection, maybe a spoon or a craft stick to help with the grout process. Um, so that's basically all the supplies that you're going to need. And I'm going to, of course, move this keyboard out of our way. And I'm going to take you guys here to the tabletop. And let's hit the magic fingers. Click. All right, here we are. So I'm way down here, way here. And the tiles or the mosaics I'm working on are here today. So let me get this glue out of the way. And basically, this one was actually started by my stepdaughter, uh, and I am finishing it up for her. She did have to fly back to the Netherlands, and so I am going to finish this up, and then next time we travel to the Netherlands, I will take it to her. So we have that one. That is her. She did decorative painting around the edges, which looks really nice. Little flowers. She loves the color pink. So she did inlay the pink and white glitter tile. I don't know if you guys can tell, but that tile actually has glitter inside of it. And I placed the glass beads, or they're like little glass pebbles. I put those in earlier today. And there's some that are loose. We're going to pour those out and resin this. And then this is going to, the fancy flamingo will be going in the middle of this one. So this is what the finished product will look like. And I do have, I might add to hers, this is crushed glass in different colors, and I might add this pink one here in some spots. And basically, it really, it's it's legitimately tiny, tiny pieces of glass. And you can sprinkle that into resin. So that's my idea behind that. Oh, all right. Not ready to do that one. We are going to grout the other one that's here. I'm trying to get these little pieces up. So the other one that is here, these are ceramic tile and glass tiles. Sorry, the glare from my studio lights are on there. But the glaze on these tiles is so pretty. So we have that. So I am going to grout this here, and this is a pretty even surface, except for the fact that the the glass tiles that are in here are lower than these ceramic tiles. So I'm going to keep the grout pretty low um, in here and not make it too super thick. But I thought this was just so pretty. And I'll probably paint the outside, but I was not sure what color I wanted it, so I did not paint it earlier today. So grout. Grout comes in all different consistencies. There's sanded grout, there's unsanded grout, different colors. You can actually color the grout yourself as well. Um, with You could do it with acrylic paint. You can also color the grout with different pigments um, when you're mixing it. So in this case, I am going to leave it white grout. I think that the white will just accent these tiles a lot more. I had thought about actually coloring the grout to a light blue, but I really think I'm just going to stick with it with white because I just love all the texture that is going on with these tiles. So, so let's mix some grout. Now, when you mix grout, um, I already have it in little packages like this. I have it prepackaged for classes that I teach. And you want to add water to this. We probably will use this entire amount for the tray. So I'm going to do it a little bit, if I can find how to open it. Do this a little bit different than I did at my class last week. And I'm going to get my jug of water. I have a big jug of water that's always here at my desk. And I'm going to go ahead and just put some in a bowl. And it's not going to take as much water as there is grout there. Let me put this down here. I do have on my desk a spoon. And what I'll do is I'll start spooning in some of this water into my packet, little plastic bag of grout. Now, I don't have the actual packaging for the grout here because it just makes too much of a mess. And so I have all these little bags packaged up. And I'm going to start adding some water into here. And what you can do to save a little bit of cleanup is mix it straight in the bag. So I want to make sure that's sealed. And just start squishing that water into the grout. The grout consistency you're looking for is you want it to have a consistency like toothpaste. Does that make sense? Um, so once you start squishing the water in here and distributing it amongst the grout, you will definitely tell that it's not ready because it is chunky still. It should be nice and smooth. Now you could mix this in the bowl. It's up to you. If you have little Ziploc bags at at home or in your studio, um, you could just use a Ziploc bag, but it's completely doable in a bowl as well. In my class last week, I mixed it in a bowl just because I was making a lot more of it. And just gonna do that. Give it some squishing action here. It's actually really nice and cold, which is kind of crazy feeling. Feels like a cold pack. So, just gonna put this in here, squish it. So if you are tuning in live, my name is Nikki. I'm with Tiny Doors WPB, and I go live every day here on YouTube, and not necessarily doing art projects like this, but talking about art business as well, or art life and different things, life as an artist. So it's basically a art vlog stream. I do stream live, and it's going to squish this some more. That should be a nice consistency going on now. And anyway, so if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. And today is the first day of our April art tutorial week. I did this last month and it was really fun. So I decided, why not? Let's do another week. And maybe this will become the monthly thing that I'll actually do live art tutorials. I now have too much water in here, but I'm in luck because I did bring an extra pack of grout. So if you get too much water in it, just add a little bit more grout. I recently just went to Home Depot about a week and a half ago and picked up some more grout for our kitchen remodel. So we'll be putting in our backsplash tiles real soon. So pretty excited about that. So every time you do this, make sure you seal your bag. You do not want to make a mess with this stuff. So I added some more. My idea is that if I do it in the bag like this, then I can pipe it, like cut a little point off of the bag and use it almost as if I am decorating a cake. So if you do it like that, it's sometimes easier to get in between the tiles, especially if the tiles are close together. You can do that. I'm gonna add a little bit more. I definitely have too much water in there. I don't know how to mix it as far as a recipe for this. I just know what consistency it is. I'm sure maybe there's an actual recipe to this, like a cup of this and a cup of that, but I don't tend to do that when I'm working with grout. I just know the feeling of what it needs to be. And it still needs a little bit more. It is getting a little thicker. Now, this grout will definitely have to sit overnight to dry. And add some more. I feel like it's gonna just fall over and go all over my desk. So, if you are just tuning in, I was live earlier today for part one. So, this is part two of day one of art tutorials in April. And we're doing a mosaic. And I'm doing it in a little wooden tray. And you can do mosaics on a lot of different surfaces. Um, almost. It did not seal all the way. Y'all see? Did y'all see that? I almost made a mess. I think I'm gonna put my gloves on at this point. It's getting a little crazy. So I suggest having some gloves on hand because it can be messy. These are just regular, these are vinyl gloves. Um, I have I've never been told I'm allergic to latex, but my hands sure do get itchy. So I am going to just say that I'm probably allergic to latex. My sister is, for sure. She knows that. But I use these vinyl gloves and I just think they just feel better. So this consistency here is pretty good at this point. And what I'm gonna try to seal it. Might not seal. But this grout, I'm gonna push it all down. And we're gonna pretend this is like a piping bag. And we're gonna be placing the grout like that. And I moved my scissors. So let me grab another pair of scissors off the wall here. And so what you can do, if you do have the plastic bag option, you just want to cut a teeny tiny little tip off of the actual bag right here. And you can be able to squeeze this in. Now, I like to start around the edges and place it in here. And I do not want to go too high with the grout just for the fact that I have these, maybe I have to cut that a little bit more. I have these little glass tiles in here that are not as thick as the ceramic tiles. So I'm not going to do a super thick amount of grout, but I am going to cut that open a little bit more. Let's try that. Oh yeah, that's better. Maybe a little too much. I'm just going to place it in between all the tiles. Now, I follow some YouTubers that are working on a stone house. Actually, several YouTubers I follow. They're working on these stone houses and they're repointing their walls, their stone walls. And I think that it's a better option to pipe this in. They're actually using the trowel and such, but I just feel that if you're going to repoint a stone wall, that if you have a piping bag to go in between, I think that it goes a lot smoother like this. So let me bring this closer to the camera. So as you can see, I'm piping it in there, and when I'm about halfway done with this top half, I'm going to take a little popsicle stick or craft stick, whatever you might call them, and I'm just going to press this down a little bit further in between. I'm just loading it in. Okay, so I'm going to put the grout to the side right now with the point that's cut open facing up. And I'm going to grab, I have these really tiny craft sticks. We use these at our workshops and such for spreading glue. And they make really good little craft sticks for this kind of work. So at this point, I'm just going in and placing the grout and pushing it in between all the edges. Now, this is a project that I am currently working on with one of my classes at the school that I teach at, and they have been having so much fun. Some of the kids chose not to do grout, which is fine. Some just painted in between their tiles. And some of them wanted sand. So I'm actually bringing sand to class next week so they can fill in their negative space of their tiles with sand. So when I do this, I'm just basically spreading out this grout in between. And just trying to get an even amount in there. I might have to go back and add more in some of the spots or take some out in one spot and add it to another. And after I do halfway with this, I will tap the tray down. And because there's water in this grout, it will help settle when you give it a little tap and get any air bubbles out that might have formed in between. So I like to tap it down. And I'm trying to think about what I'm going to do with this one. This one is for me. I don't intend to sell this one. I just mostly because I really love these tiles so much. And I've had them for a little while for my classes, and I have yet to make myself something with them. And I really wanted to make this. I love that it has this blue color in there. We painted our kitchen cabinets blue, so this might actually become like a trivet in my kitchen. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make myself something since I never really get to make my own. I mean, I make them, but I make them mostly. I'm making a display and how to, you know, just to show people how to do it. And I never just get to make one for fun. So this one is it. So I have that. I'm gonna put my little stick, and I'm just gonna tap this, and you can do this, and it will move the grout around. Sorry if that's loud. So it helps settle the grout down when you give it a little tap. And now I can see areas that may need a little bit more grout, such as up here in this top corner. So I'm going to put some here and then move that around. And in this top corner, we're going to add some more over here. Now it's okay to get this on top of the tile. You're going to clean that up um, afterwards with the sponge. That's what the sponge is for. And what I think I'll do is I'm only going to do this one for tonight. And then the one with the flamingo, I'm going to continue that one on our date that we're going to have some resin tutorial. And that's later in the week. And I know, yes, it's Friday and this is day one of art tutorial week, but I thought it would be fun to start the week off on Friday with some fun art projects because that way maybe you might get inspired and say, hey, tomorrow I think I'm going to go out and get some tile and try the grout and try making a tiny mosaic. I do not have this as a product on our website just because it's really something I don't keep a lot of this in stock because when I do classes locally, they use a lot. Oh, that was a lot. They use a lot of that product. So this is something I do in classes and workshops locally. So I did add some more. I'm gonna do the same process of just manipulating this around, getting it in between all that negative space. Doing the same process as I just did above. Let me know if you have you ever done mosaic before? And if so, did you use special glass tiles or ceramic tiles, or did you do it with unique finds? Sometimes people make mosaics with little toys and marbles and all kinds of different little findings. We do have a mosaic glass, or it's a ceramic tile mosaic tabletop in our backyard on our patio. And that was actually done by my stepdaughter last year or the year before last. She did that project here at our house. Did it with her dad. She wanted to do something creative. So she wanted to do something to help us around the house and do something creative. Uh, until we said, well, we've always wanted this tile mosaic done on the table in the back. And she took it on and did a really good job. So our back patio table is done by her. It's kind of a birthday gift also because I had bought the tiles, or no, maybe his Freddie's. I don't know. We bought it in connection with Freddie's birthday a couple years ago. And it's kind of ironic because it was just Freddie's birthday a couple days ago. His birthday was on the 21st. So it's like an annual thing. I feel like I'm doing tile every year. Or we have a tile project going on around his birthday. So, you can take, and if it's starting to dry out a little bit, if you have a little squirt bottle of water, you can give it a little spritz of water just to keep it awake while you're manipulating all that around, because it dries. This grout here dries pretty quick. So I'm just trying to get it in all these spots. I know that I'm covering up some of these tiles in there, but we're gonna wipe it off in just a second. Let's grab some more. Put a little bit more in this corner here. And some here. And I didn't do any here before. Kind of wish I had some music playing, but can't really play music here live on YouTube. Whenever I'm working in the studio, I tend to have music on. That's someone asked me earlier about what inspires me. A lot of things do. That doesn't inspire me when I squeeze that too hard. Oh, I got too much. Well, we're just gonna fill it in wherever we need it. Um, yeah, so all kinds of things inspire me for art. And I pretty much do art nearly every day. I'm doing some kind of art project or doing some artsy related something. And I do want the grout to come up to the same level as the lowest tiles that are in here, which are the glass tiles, the small tiles that are in. And that's the height that I'm going for all the grout. So now, can I do this with my fingers? Yes. But I don't want to do that. We've talked about doing mosaic tiles in our stairs here in the studio. Um, but I like the way they are. I have them painted a different color every step. So I always say that you should make every day a colorful step. And in my case, I have multiple color steps that I walk down every day to come to the studio. Just gonna tap that in. Maybe I'm gonna spritz it with a little bit more water just to keep it pliable. If you tap it against your hand on all four sides, that will help it settle. And it's almost like self-leveling when you do this. You have the right consistency of water. And just give it a tap. I know that might be loud. Sorry. So I'm just going to tap it down. This part, the kids loved that they got to do this and make so much noise. I'm not sure that the school really, I think they were like, what is happening in there? I have another project I wanted to do with this at the school, but it's it's going to require a lot of noise, and I don't know if they're going to want to do that. I wanted to teach the kids about um, flowers and how pigments, you can get pigments out of the flowers. And so that's something I wanted to do, but then I was like, maybe not such a good idea just for the fact that it would be so loud with all the kids with hammers pushing pigment out of flowers. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to just go along the edge and start cleaning up the grout that I got on the outside. One of the reasons why I did not paint the outside edge. I mean, you can totally do this with the outside edge painted, but I just feel that it would be better not to do that. So I'm just going to tap it a little bit more and get that nice and flat. Not stick my finger through it. So now, if you can see, by doing that, it kind of levels out the grout. Now, if you're doing your walls, obviously if you're tiling your walls, you're not going to be able to tap it like this. So you have to be a little bit more consistent on the walls. Now, what I am going to do, now that I have pretty much the grout is at the level that I wanted it to be at, I'm going to start cleaning up these little tiles. And I'm just going to run my finger over the tops of them just to pull some of the grout off of them. And you can see where this is here. Just going to pull it off with my finger first and try to just move the grout around. So I want it a little bit, move it around. I don't know how else to say that. Disperse it a little bit more evenly. And you can wait till this dries a little bit. You do not want to clean these up after it's dried because it's almost impossible. It's not impossible, it's almost impossible. It just takes a lot of effort to remove grout off the tile surface when it's dry. So I'm just going in, doing that, seeing if there's any highs and lows in here. I see this in between here and here. I want to put more there. Just gonna pinch a little bit over here. Place this in here. Anywhere that it's a little too high, just moving it around. Okay, so I'm gonna clean off my gloves with the paper towels. I'm not gonna take my gloves off yet because I don't want this all over my hands. Now the sponge, having the sponge, hello, welcome back. It looks really cool, right? So once I start pulling this, I'm sorry I didn't see your reaction before. Thanks for tuning in live. When we pull this grout off the tiles, you'll see the magic. And I'm doing this with a dry sponge first, just to grab some of that extra tile grout off of it. I'm pulling it off first, and then I'm going to use it wet. But I don't want a lot of water to get into the grout. Thanks, Everett. Thanks for all the love. So, just taking this off with a dry sponge first. And I'm wiping it on the edge of my little bowl that I have here. Like I said before, I love the color of the glazing in these tiles. I know my studio lights are super bright, but I think I did the right choice by adding the white grout to this. So now I'm just going to dip my sponge into the water, squeeze it out, and then run it over the top of the surface. You're going to do this probably what will seem like forever. And you can come back and do it after about, I don't know, 7 to 10 minutes. Yeah, so yeah, nice to have you back. So I'm just cleaning them up. And like I said earlier, now part one of this video is was filmed live earlier today. So if anybody wished to go and take a look at that on the process of adhering the tiles to the wood, please feel free when you're not watching this one. Thank you. I do have another one over here that I'm working on too, but it's a completely different process. It's looking like this is the other one. This is done with the tiles as well, but also glass and pebbles. And I will be doing this one with resin instead of grout. So that one, I'm probably not going to get that one done tonight. Probably do that later on this week on the day I'm planning to do resin. So that way I'll have all the resin products out. And the UV, I use UV resin. So just going to keep going over this until all that grout is off the top of your tiles. And ideally, you would want all your tiles to be the same thickness. You like the flamingo one? Yeah, flamingos are like my favorite thing to do. I um I started art doing flamingos long time ago. Um that was one of my things. And used to do silk screening with the flamingos. I in high school I had a flamingo bedroom. Um, so I currently have two paintings that are available that are flamingos. They're not on our website here. Um, on my Tiny Door website. They're going to be going on my other website. Um, but I'm hoping they're going to be sold next weekend. I have a big event, and I just feel like someone's going to have to take those flamingos home with them, or maybe I end up just hanging them up myself in the house. But I did make them to sell. I do have that same flamingo that I'm doing on that one tile. I do have that as a tiny door. Um, I call it the fancy flamingo tiny door. Unfortunately, I don't have a finished one, but I do have one here. So, if you didn't know, I make miniature doors, really cutesy. So that one I still have to finish that one. But I had several of these. Yeah, the flamingos are your favorite. I was supposed to go, I guess it would have been last month. I was supposed to go and see some flamingos. I've seen flamingos in the wild here. It's actually kind of rare to see flamingos here in Florida in the wild. They are coming back, but I haven't seen flamingos in the wild here in a really long time. Um, but I was supposed to go um, to Mexico last month, and the idea was to go and see some flamingos in the wild. And that didn't happen. We ended up I was gonna go on a little mother-daughter trip with my mom, a quick little vacation with her last month, and we ended up not doing that. So So I did not get to see them in the wild last month, but I will soon. I mean, you see them in the zoos, and it's not quite the same. It is kind of nice for taking photos of flamingos in the wild. I would love to do that. Um, yeah. So this week, we've had a busy week. We went on a little mini vacation, and now I'm back in the studio. I'm gonna wait and let that dry, but look how cool that looks. Isn't that pretty? And my new cabinets in our was they're not new. They're not new cabinets. We repainted our cabinets, which are original to our house, a deep blue. And I'm gonna use this in the kitchen as like a trivet or a hot plate. Um, and we installed about a week and a half ago the new countertop, which is a butcher block. So this has a lot of like browns in it. So we have the butcher block countertop, and also we have a copper sink and copper fixings. The handles and hinges on the cabinets are all copper, and the sink is copper, and the faucet is copper. So I thought that this would be really pretty in the kitchen. So, all right. Well, thanks for tuning in, Everett. Hopefully, we'll see you next time. I am going live every day for a week doing art tutorials. So, um, check back later. Thanks so much for tuning in live. See you later. So, yeah, this one is done. Now I just have to let it dry. I will go back over these pieces in just a little bit later on, but you guys can get the idea. There it is. Look at this. Look at the glaze on this. I love it. Love it a lot. Love it, love it, love it. All right. Just gonna clean up the edges here and give it a couple taps on the table. Just a little bit more. Even it out and settle it in. Sorry if that is loud. Sorry. Um, it is what it is. You gotta do that. You gotta do what you gotta do. If this was ASMR, that would not have been good. Just going on the edges of the wood on the inside edge. So I'll flatten that out a little. But I think it turned out pretty good. I really, really enjoy doing mosaic work. So if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you are new here, go ahead and consider hitting the subscribe button. And yeah, ring the bell for notifications. I do go live every single day. Put these gloves off because I'm done with those. And I do have some glue mixture still here. What can I use that for? Oh, ooh. Anyway, so let's do the magic fingers here. And we're going to click. There we are. Hello, hello. All right, we're going to take the supply list down and we'll put the overhead camera on this side too. Let's move it over here so you guys can see it side by side. And zoom it in a little bit. So this is it today. And I think it turned out pretty good. I think the white grout is going to look so good once it dries. And you can, like, the grout, if you don't have gloves, you can do this, but it's just a little bit better when you have gloves on. So I just want to sit here and do more work on it, but wait, I can't help myself. I'm gonna go on take off this. That hazy look on the tiles, it drives me crazy. Trying to get that all off. And you want to get it off of the tile before it dries. So I'm just going to use my fingers without gloves. Yay! I'm so excited about it. Turned out so good. I almost want to make another one. Probably not tonight. But yeah, nice to nice to get that done today. Like I said, I don't know what color I'm gonna paint the edges. Maybe I'll paint it the blue. I think I'll paint it blue just because it'll make the blue pop. I've used the white grout to make these lines just really come out in these tiles. And then I use the glass tile. Has a little bit of an iridescent look to it. Unfortunately, I didn't have like little copper tiles. That would have been really good. So this is giving me a little shine. A little sparkle. So yeah. You see it? It's so pretty! Hey, I'm so excited about it. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys what the plan is. Let me just clean off my fingers. For the rest of the week. And where did my planner go? Oh, my chair is so creaky. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but maybe it's almost time for a new desk chair. All right, I do have my planner here. And let me see. For the rest of, well, this is day one of our tutorial week. So we did mosaics. Tomorrow we're going to do the Cricut machine, and we will be doing that in connection with an order that I've received. So we're going to be making some stickers. I need to make 300 stickers for this order that just came in. I have to contact, oops, sorry, I bumped the camera. I need to contact the client's designer, and their graphic designer is supposed to drop me the graphics. They updated the graphics a little bit. This is a reorder of stickers for them. I think they've ordered stickers from me about, this might be their 7th order with me. I do small batch sticker production, vinyl stickers, and yeah, so you can check that out on our website if you're interested. You have to provide the design. If not, then I would have either myself or another graphic designer that I use do the design for you. So, so we have Cricut design with stickers tomorrow. Sunday, we are going to be painting live here for the painting tutorial. Do I know what I'm painting yet? No, I don't know yet. Monday, we're doing an upcycle day. Fun. Cheers. Tuesday, we're doing sewing. I have a couple, well, I have three things I want to test on the sewing machine. So we're going to do that on Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm going to be doing some tiny creations with polymer clay. And then Thursday, we're going to be doing the resin work, which will include the resin for this piece here. So I'm going to do the resin all in one day. So that'll be Thursday. And that will be the last day of art tutorials and also the last day of the month. And in the meantime, my studio is a mess. Um, so after I did live today, earlier today, I did some cleanup. I am preparing for summer. Um, I do teach a different summer project locally. It's a 3-day week for 2 months of art classes for kids. Um, and that's a contract that is a renewed contract. We did it last year and we did it the year before, but a little bit different. Maybe even the year before that. I don't know. It's a it's a contract that I've been doing for a little while. It's just changed up a little bit, um, budget wise and such, but same contract. Teaching some art classes for the summer. Yay! I love to teach the kiddos in the summertime because they're like out of school and they just love to do art. So, and some of these kids have been taking classes with me for many years. Some of them have actually aged out of of the classes. Um, so, and I've had that with the other things that I've taught years and years ago. I used to teach dance, and so now the little girls that I used to teach dance to are like married and have kids, and it makes me feel really old. But I'm not that old, sort of. So, anyway, I've been teaching for a really long time, whether it was teaching dance from I started teaching dance and baton when I was I think in middle school, and I taught until and competed in dance and baton until I was around 22, 23 years old. So a really long time. And I danced from when I was really little, did dance and baton in general. But I've been teaching some kind of art form since I was really young. And now I teach regular visual arts, and yeah, it's just great. So yeah, I've been in the arts basically like I think I would consider it my whole life. I mean, when you're a little baby, it's not doesn't count. Um, but I started in music in 5th grade. I think it was 5th or 6th grade. And then I did music, I did dance, I did baton, I did 2D and 3D art. Um, and yeah, so I've been doing art a long, long time. And it's so nice to be able to share this stuff with you guys here on YouTube. So if you are interested and you are new here and want to consider subscribing to the channel, I really appreciate it. And let me see if I can pop that up like this. Let me put that up there. Maybe, maybe not. I thought it was gonna work. Nope, that's the wrong thing. Yeah, you would think after all this time, this is day 113, I would know what I'm doing. Anyway, you get the idea. Consider subscribing, and I don't know where my pop-up screen went. It's somewhere in here. Oh, here it is. Let's move that up. Maybe. There it is. Okay, I got it. So if you want to consider subscribing wherever it might be, um, that would be great. Um, if you'd like to check out our website, it's tinydoors.org, and the QR code there will get you to all of our socials. So, anyway, with that being said, I'm calling it for tonight. I want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in live tonight and chatted with me and all the love and support you have given me during the live. And if you have any questions, don't forget to just comment below. In the description box, I have all the information and including the supplies to create the mosaics. So I'm so excited to finish this one today. And yeah, it turned out really cute. And maybe this will inspire you to go out and create something fun this weekend. And we'll be back here tomorrow making stickers live right here on YouTube. We'll see you then. Good night, everybody. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Whenever you're watching this. I really appreciate it. Bye bye. See you later. That's tomorrow. Okay. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.